My girlfriend, Isabella, and I were in a long-distance relationship for all 4 years of college. I never worried about her cheating on me. After all, my best friend went to the same school, so he could always keep me updated on what she was doing. Over those 4 years, Isabella came to visit me more than 200 times, spending at least $30,000 on travel and hotels. She would smile and ruffle my hair, saying, "You get motion sickness on cars and planes, so I'll be the one to come to you. I'll never let you be jealous of other guys' girlfriends. I make good money tutoring part-time, so what else would I spend it on, if not to see my sweet, sensitive boyfriend?" On the day of her graduation photos, I made an excuse about my advisor needing me in the lab for 3 days straight. In reality, I was on a 20-hour train ride to her graduation ceremony at UCSD, planning to propose. When I got to the campus, I happened to see a proposal happening on the athletic field, surrounded by a deafening roar of cheers. I tilted my head to get a better look and saw that the woman down on one knee proposing was my girlfriend, Isabella, and the person she was proposing to was my best friend. I felt like I had been struck by lightning. I rubbed my eyes hard. It had to be the lingering smell from the train, making my vision blurry. But when I focused on Isabella's face again, tears welled up and streamed down my cheeks before I could stop them. The hand she held the ring box with was trembling. "Alex," she said, "I've never imagined spending the rest of my life with anyone else. For me, there's only you, Alex, and then there's everyone else. So, will you marry me?" I mechanically turned my head to look at Alex. He had his hand over his mouth, sobbing with emotion. He was dressed exceptionally well today, a sharp, tailored suit that made him look elegant and refined. His smile was captivating. His voice from 2 weeks ago echoed in my ears. "Davis, which of these suits do you think looks better on me?" I had recommended the all-white one. He had hesitated, "But it's $300 more. Is it really worth it?" I nodded immediately. "The quality is amazing. It looks great on you. Treat yourself and get it. If you're short on cash, I'll send you some." At the time, I assumed he was buying it for a dinner with his roommates or maybe a job interview. Now I saw him wearing the suit he bought with my money, accepting a proposal from Isabella. The immense shock left my body rigid, unable to move. I desperately wanted to rush over there, snatch that ring box from her, and crush it under my heel. Alex smiled through his tears. "The thought of loving anyone but you is impossible. You might as well kill me, Isabella." "Yes, I'm willing. Let's get married." I watched, paralyzed, as a deeply moved Isabella slid the ring onto his left ring finger. The two of them embraced and kissed, and the cheers of congratulations from the students watching grew louder and louder. The envious chatter of two girls standing near me dealt another crushing blow. Isabella and Alex are so perfect for each other. From high school sweethearts to this, I've been obsessed with them since they got together back in the spring of freshman year. I know, right? He's the student government vice president, and she's a brilliant writer from the literature department. You couldn't make this up in a novel. Dating for 3 years, and then a proposal. It's so romantic I could die. The bouquet of flowers and the ring box in my hands crashed onto the track. It was only then that I understood. My best friend and my girlfriend had been the campus's most famous, picture-perfect couple for the last 3 years. A metallic taste rose in my throat, and my body suddenly began to twitch. An instant later, I collapsed to the ground. Some kind students nearby saw me fall and rushed me to the campus health center. Meanwhile, Isabella and Alex were lost in their passionate kiss, completely oblivious to the world around them. When I woke up in the health center, the campus nurse let out a sigh of relief. "Son, you have low blood sugar. You need to be more careful from now on." I frantically called Isabella, but she didn't pick up. Then I tried calling and messaging Alex on iMessage, Instagram, everything I could think of, but he didn't answer either. My tears streamed down, splashing onto my phone screen. The nurse handed me a piece of candy. "Why the tears?" "Here, have some candy. It's from the celebration. That Alex Johnson and Isabella Williams are such a nice couple. That proposal on the field today was really something." I walked through the UCSD campus in a daze. The nurse's words kept replaying in my head. Back in freshman year, Alex fainted during his physical fitness test, and it was Isabella who brought him in here. Oh, she was so worried about him. After that, they started dating and were inseparable, like they wished there were 25 hours a day. Someone on campus even wrote about their love story. They were so attached, and now they've finally made it official. Every word was a sharp blade, carving a fresh, bleeding wound into my heart. During my own freshman year fitness test, my roommate had to help me to the health center for the very same reason. But I never imagined that Isabella and Alex would lie to me, that they were in another health center, flirting with each other. My phone suddenly buzzed with a notification. I played the voice message from Isabella. Her voice was slurred with drunkenness. Babe, today was graduation, and I went out with my roommates and had a little too much to drink. I'm so sorry I missed your call. Please don't be mad, babe. Can we video chat? Actually, no. I'm a mess right now. I'll call you tomorrow, okay? I already ordered your favorite breakfast for tomorrow morning, so remember to go get it. Love you. After listening to the message, my heart sank into a bottomless pit. A message from Alex came through right after. Davis, are you stressed about your thesis? I was so swamped with graduation photos with my roommates today that I didn't check in. That's my bad, man. Your girl Isabella is being good, by the way. She turned down taking photos with all the guys from her class. She said she only wants to take them with you. They had gone to such great lengths to deceive me, deliberately staggering their messages. If I hadn't seen the proposal with my own eyes, I would have been a fool who believed every single word. My phone nearly slipped from my grasp. I completely broke down, squatting on the ground and sobbing into my hands. Suddenly, I heard the voices of Isabella and Alex nearby. I followed the sound and saw them under a lamppost by the lake. Isabella had her arm around Alex, and they were both laughing, giddy with happiness. They were feeding a little orange cat. Alex's voice was tinged with sadness. Hey, kitty, we've been feeding you for over 3 years now. You've been our little witness, haven't you? Isabella watched him the entire time, her eyes overflowing with an adoration so intense it was almost tangible. Alex, I love you. Those words sent a tremor through my soul. Alex bit his lip, looking hurt, and buried his face in her chest. You've already done so much for me. After today, we can't love each other out in the open anymore. You're going to move in with Davis, build a life together. I'll be in France for grad school. It'll be so hard to see each other. But Isabella replied, Alex, no matter how far apart we are, you'll always be in my heart. I'm the one who proposed to you, remember? He nodded, a relieved smile spreading across his face. I've already gotten so much. At least you proposed to me first. Even when you marry Davis later, I won't be jealous. You don't need to feel sorry for me, because we can't get a marriage license. Maybe this way, you'll remember me even longer. My fingernails dug deep into my palms as I watched Isabella and Alex kiss with abandon. Her breathing was ragged. I am sorry, Alex. I'll find a way to visit you in France. The two of them quickly became a tangle of limbs, and the wet, intimate sounds of their kissing were sickeningly clear. Isabella was an expert at splitting her love in two. She would secretly propose to Alex and then eventually marry me. Alex was the one she couldn't live without, the one she could never forget. My face burned as if it were on fire, and my tears matted my hair to my cheeks. I crushed the celebratory candy in my hand until it was unrecognizable, then threw it in the nearest trash can. Without a moment's hesitation, I booked a flight and headed back to my own campus. I had arrived full of hope, and I left with a heart full of ashes. The exhaustion of body and soul dragged me into a hazy, nightmarish sleep. Images of Isabella and Alex flashed through my mind, holding hands as they walked across campus. I saw them feeding that little kitten together until it grew fat and lazy. I saw them in the dining hall, picking the vegetables they hated off each other's plates. I saw them huddled under the same scarf, walking together in the first snow. I jolted awake, my pillow soaked with tears and my forehead slick with cold sweat. My roommates were gathered around my bed, eager for the story. Davis, didn't you go to propose to your girlfriend? Why you look like you've been through a war? Yeah, man. Did your buddy get it on video? Come on, show us. Traveling all that way to propose is legendary. I am seriously impressed. My intention had been to surprise Isabella, which is why I hadn't told anyone I was going. I just never expected she would be the one to give me a surprise that felt like a blow to the head. Looking at their three curious faces, I couldn't even force a smile. Isabella had to leave unexpectedly to collect data with her advisor. I missed her, so I just came back. They exchanged glances, but seeing I wasn't going to say more, they let it go and left. I couldn't bring myself to tell them that the best girlfriend in the universe, the one I'd bragged about countless times, had been cheating on me with my best friend for 3 years. My head was throbbing. I was on the balcony brushing my teeth when I looked down and saw Isabella, looking tired from travel. She was holding a bouquet of my favorite coffee-colored roses and the matcha cheesecake I'd mentioned wanting last week. Her eyes were filled with the same look of love, but this time it sent a chill through my entire body. After a night of passion with Alex, she could show up here today as if nothing had happened. She called up loudly, "Davis, let's take our graduation photos together." My roommate nudged my shoulder, full of envy. "That's so romantic, man. Hurry up and go down there." I moved like a robot, not even realizing I'd forgotten my shoes. As I walked barefoot to the entrance of the dorm, when Isabella saw me, she frowned, ran over, and guided me to a nearby bench, putting her arm around me. "Are you so happy you're acting silly? Why aren't you wearing any shoes? When we live together, I'm definitely going to help you break this bad habit." The future. The word made me laugh out loud for no reason. She froze, looking stunned. "Davis, are you not feeling well? Are you still mad? I know it was awful of me not to message you back when I was drunk yesterday. That's why I bought flowers and cake and took the earliest flight I could to make it up to you." But a surge of rage washed over me, and I smashed the cheesecake right in her face. When that wasn't enough, I threw the beautiful bouquet of roses at her. "Isabella, do you really think I'm some kind of idiot you can just lead around by the nose?" My shout was deafening. I was shocked at my own wild, hysterical behavior. The ring was still on her finger. How could she not bear to part with Alex? Isabella's calm demeanor was so complete, it was frightening. She was still smiling. "Babe, are you having trouble with your lab work? Don't worry, I've wrapped everything up at my school. From now on, I'll be here to help you get ready for graduation. With me here, you don't have to stress. We'll go on our trip right after graduation. Cheer up, and don't you still need to pick out a going-away present for your best friend? I'll earn the money. You can buy him something nice." She carefully started cleaning up the mess, not forgetting to warn me, "Be careful not to step on the thorns." But I paid her no mind. I walked right up to her and slapped her hard across the face. "Isabella, you are absolutely shameless." But the overwhelming grief completely drained me, and the next second I collapsed. Before my eyes closed, I saw a panicked Isabella lunging to catch me as I fell. When Isabella heard the doctor say I had fainted from acute stomach flu, a flicker of guilt and pain crossed her face. She squeezed my hand tightly. "Davis, this is all my fault. It's my fault you felt like you couldn't even tell me you were sick. But don't you worry, I'll stay right here with you. I'll call your advisor and get you an extension." She was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I could no longer see past the mask to the hypocrisy and rot underneath. I didn't have the energy to be angry as she bustled around, wiping my forehead, buying me food, and handling the hospital bills. She had taken such good care of me ever since we were in middle school. She always brought me fruit that was already peeled and sliced, and she never missed an opportunity to make a gift feel special. After our final exams in high school, she confessed her feelings for me with a bouquet she had arranged herself. I was overjoyed, and so began my sweet first love. But Alex couldn't stand her. "Dude," he'd said, "I just don't think Isabella's good enough for you." They were like oil and water, and I was always stuck in the middle, trying to keep the peace. When I found out Isabella and I had been accepted to different universities, I felt like my world was ending. Alex was by my side constantly and even offered to keep an eye on Isabella for me. "Bro, I'll be watching. If Isabella so much as says an extra word to another guy, I'll let you know immediately." That finally put my mind at ease. I raised an eyebrow at Isabella and joked, "See, don't even think about cheating on me. I've got Alex monitoring your every move." She swore up and down, "Don't worry, he'll never have a reason to report back to you." Back then, I truly believed I had the most thoughtful girlfriend and the most trustworthy best friend in the world. I had no idea they were exploiting the fact that I barely used social media, loving each other recklessly on campus, and becoming that sweet, talked about couple everyone adored. Isabella went down the hall to get some hot water, and her phone, left on the table, started ringing. The caller ID said, "Mom." I thought of Mrs. Williams, how she always held my hand and sent me home with containers of food, so I answered it. But her words turned me to stone. "Isabella, honey, when are you bringing Alex home for dinner? Your father and I both miss him. And don't bring Davis this time. Every time he comes, I have to entertain him and put on a smile with that high and mighty attitude of his. I just like that Alex boy so much more. Tell Alex I miss him and that I have a special gift for him when he visits, something I'd never dream of giving to Davis." I felt like a giant hand was squeezing my heart. I couldn't believe that the woman who always smiled so warmly at me secretly thought of Alex as her son-in-law. My voice was hoarse. "Mrs. Williams, if you dislike me so much, why are you always calling my parents your future in-laws?" She recognized my voice and immediately hung up. I let out a bitter laugh. As if guided by some unseen force, I reached into Isabella's jacket pocket and pulled out a second phone. I typed in Alex's birthday, and it unlocked. In the photo gallery, I found thousands of intimate pictures of them together. Every wallpaper was a picture of Alex. The apps were sorted into a folder with his name on it. No wonder Isabella was always so confident, so willing to let me look through her phone. She had a second phone the whole time, a place to hide all the evidence of her sordid affair with Alex. Just then, a new message popped up from Alex, who was pinned to the top of her contacts. "My love, I'm on my way to see Davis now. He won't suspect anything, will he? I want to see you as soon as possible. Besides, he's so petty, he'll probably get mad at me later for not showing enough concern." The words were like poison being poured down my throat. I typed back, "Come over." Then, on my way, "Wait for me, my dear Isabella." I placed the phone back where I found it and became perfectly calm, waiting for their little play to begin. Isabella came back in and started cutting up some fruit for me. And just then, Alex burst into the room and threw his arms around me. His eyes were red with worry. "Davis, how could you have fainted?" "I'm so sorry. I came as soon as I heard." I let out a small laugh. It was Isabella. She made me so angry. "Alex, why don't you slap her for me?" The moment the words left my mouth, both of their faces froze. He instinctively glanced at Isabella. Isabella recovered quickly, obediently turning her cheek to him. "Go on, Alex, hit me. It will make Davis feel better." A flicker of pity crossed Alex's eyes. Then he slapped Isabella across the face. It must have been heartbreaking to do it. Tears glistened in his eyes, and his hand, now by his side, was trembling. He forced a smile at me. "Feel better now, Davis?" And Isabella, "Really? Why would you do something to make our Davis upset?" Isabella, still smiling, held a piece of watermelon to my lips. "It's my fault. It's understandable if Davis can't forgive me just yet." I spat the watermelon right at her face. Then I turned to stunned Alex and asked, "Alex, why aren't you wearing the ring Isabella proposed to you with yesterday?" At those words, the transformations on their faces were spectacular to watch. Alex even forgot that he had just pulled out a napkin, intending to wipe the watermelon pulp from Isabella's face. He glanced guiltily at his bare left hand and gave me an awkward smile. "Davis, what are you talking about? I never wear rings, you know that. Have you been in a bad mood lately? I'm sorry if I've been ignoring you. But you can't just spit fruit in Isabella's face. She's your girlfriend." I cut him off. "I'm dealing with my own girlfriend. Why does it hurt you so much, Alex? Why are you defending her? You like her, is that it?" As soon as I said it, I could feel the air in the hospital room turn to ice. Isabella was the first to react, quickly wiping the mask from her own face. She knelt in front of me. "Davis, you're just saying things because you're angry. Are you hungry? I'll go get you some of that spicy noodle soup you like, okay?" Alex let out a hollow laugh. "Davis, you're hilarious. Your Isabella is attached to you at the hip. I'd never want a girlfriend that clingy. Just wait till I get to France and start dating some gorgeous European girls. Don't you get jealous?" Oh, by the way, I'm probably leaving for France tomorrow or the day after. So I won't be third wheeling on your graduation trip with Isabella. That's why I'm going to spend all day with you today. They played dumb, completely ignoring the contempt in my eyes. Just then, Isabella's phone began to ring again. It was probably her mother calling to coordinate their stories. She picked up the phone. Davis, I'm just going to take this call. I spoke up. Isabella, answer here on speaker. I'd love to hear what Mrs. Williams has to say. She hesitated, glancing at an equally nervous Alex. I snapped. Answer it right here in front of me. Do you not understand English? She closed her eyes, as if praying that her mother wouldn't say the wrong thing. However, her mother blurted out, Isabella, did that menace Davis find out about you and Alex? Listen to me. If he did, just dump him. The Williams family wants Alex for a son-in-law. Don't think the Millers are so special just because they have a little money. In that instant, the mask on Isabella's face shattered, and she hung up the phone without a second thought. Alex was so frightened his legs gave out, and he nearly collapsed against the bed's safety rail. It's in moments of crisis that you see where a person's heart truly lies. The instant she sensed Alex might fall, Isabella had already lunged forward to catch him. She had completely forgotten that I, a living, breathing person, was even in the room. Now, seeing this painful scene, I still felt a pang in my chest. But the greater pain was for the trust and genuine affection I had so foolishly wasted on these two people. So I let out a harsh, mocking laugh. How touching. It must have been so hard for you, hiding this from me for so long. 3 whole years. Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you've actually spent more time with Alex than you ever did with me. After all, you saw each other every single day at school. Since you were capable of doing something as despicable as betraying me, why would you feel scared or guilty now? You already did it. So what is this, another act? Are you trying to make me sick with this show of disbelief? Alex pushed Isabella's hands away and stumbled toward me, sobbing, reaching for my hand. I shot him a look of pure hatred. Don't touch me. You're filthy. Every single second I have to look at the two of you. It's the greatest humiliation I have ever experienced. He sobbed uncontrollably. Davis, please listen to me. I can explain. There's really nothing going on between me and Isabella. Isabella started spouting lies, trying to explain away her mother's words. Davis, my mom's been going through menopause, and her memory has been getting worse. That's why she said those things. You know she adores you. She would never say something like that, right? As soon as you're better, I'll take you to see her, and you can ask her yourself. She'll explain everything, and she'll make you your favorite chicken dish. Even now, they refuse to give me the simple courtesy of the truth. My own traitorous tears began to fall. I pushed myself up in the bed, my face a mask of despair. Isabella, yesterday, I secretly came to your campus. I was planning to propose to you at your graduation ceremony. She snapped her head up, and the look of utter disbelief on her face only deepened my pain. I was on a train for so long. I kept taking motion sickness pills, and I kept fussing over the flowers, making sure the colors I picked out were perfect. And the ring I chose, I couldn't stop imagining the look on your face when you saw it. My roommates all said I had guts, traveling all that way with flowers and a ring to propose to the woman I love. They said it was a grand gesture. But when I got there, you were the one with the big surprise. I watched with my own eyes as you proposed to my best friend. And you, Alex, you swore you'd watch out for her for me, and instead you climbed into her bed. Would it kill you to stay away from other people's girlfriends? Alex collapsed onto the floor, weeping silently. I went on. You two hit it off so well. Everyone on campus knew you were the perfect couple, madly in love for 3 years. But they didn't know how shameless and disgusting you both are in private. I even got one of your celebratory candies. How ironic is that? I never, ever thought the two people I trusted most in the world would betray me like this. A silent, double betrayal. You two must really be in love, down to your very bones. Alex scrambled toward me, shaking his head frantically. Davis, stop. Please stop talking. Isabella rubbed her face hard with her hands, the corners of her eyes turning red. She choked on a sob, struggling to speak. Davis, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hear you say you're sorry. Alex rested his head against my hand. Davis, it's my fault. I was the one who couldn't handle being lonely. I fell for Isabella, and I couldn't stop myself. It has nothing to do with her. If you have to blame someone, blame me. Isabella immediately jumped to his defense. I was the one who crossed the line first. Alex didn't have a choice. Davis, please don't blame him. I was sick of watching their lovey-dovey act. I violently shoved the sobbing Alex away from me. The push was so forceful that Alex slammed into the wall, and I heard a distinct crack from his shoulder. A cold fury lit up in Isabella's eyes. Alex! She immediately rushed to hold Alex, whose face was contorted in pain. And then she turned to me with a look of pure rage. Davis, have you had enough? You've said your piece. What are you going to do now? Beat Alex to death right here. I got out of bed and walked right up to Isabella. Then I raised my hand and slapped her twice hard across the face. Isabella, it's you I hate the most. If I had known back then what a heartless, treacherous person you are, I would have rather die than accept your confession. When we were 18, and you still thought you could marry me, then find excuses to fly abroad for secret meetings with him? Don't even dream of it. In Isabella's defiant eyes, for a moment, I saw us back at 18. It was a scorching June day, the air thick with an endless heat wave. She had appeared before me on her bicycle like a gust of wind. Her stunning, fox-like eyes were fixed on mine. I had my hands clasped behind my back, so nervous I was practically cutting off my own circulation. She was so nervous she stammered, Davis, will you be my boyfriend? I think we should go out. And my answer was to pull her into a hug. Yes, Isabella. From now on, you're my girlfriend and mine alone. The memories replayed in my mind, frame by frame, but I knew we could never go back. I shifted my gaze to Alex, still cradled in her arms. Alex, do you remember? We always used to talk about how, when we got old, we'd live in the same apartment building. Or, at the very least, we'd join one of those senior tour groups and travel together. We thought we'd be so cool. None of those dreams will ever come true now, because traitors don't deserve to be happy. So congratulations to you both. No more sneaking around in the dark. After saying all that, a wave of relief washed over me. The people who trampled on my heart did not deserve my respect. But Isabella suddenly called out, Davis, what does that mean? It means I'm dumping you. You and Alex can get the hell out of my life and stay there. I didn't expect those words to make the timid, weeping Alex completely snap. He shot to his feet and pointed a finger in my face. Davis, why do you have to scream at Isabella like that? Hasn't she been good enough to you? Do you have any idea how many jobs she worked, how much sleep she lost, just to go see you? She was always on the road to you, while you just sat back and enjoyed it. What right do you have to blame her? I froze. It wasn't that I hadn't considered how hard long distance was. It was she who had promised me, every single time, that she would make it work. But people get distracted. She and Alex were close. When she was hungry or thirsty or had something on her mind she couldn't share with me, he was there. Of course, he could be there for her more. It was inevitable they would cross a line. But the more I thought about it, the more something fell off. And then, like waking from a long dream, it hit me. I looked at the stunned Isabella, then at the furious Alex so righteously defending her. If you hadn't said that, I might have actually started to feel guilty. Her insistence on always being the one to travel wasn't because she was considerate of my motion sickness. It was because she was terrified I'd show up and interrupt her little romance with you. That is not an excuse for her to cheat on me. If she wasn't happy, she should have been honest and told me, and we could have broken up. Instead, she hooked up with my best friend. Cheating is a failure of her character, a sign that she's a garbage person. You can't pin that on me. If I hadn't made that surprise trip, when would I ever have found out about their disgusting secret? At that, they finally fell silent. Isabella took an involuntary step forward, and for a fleeting moment, I thought I saw a flicker of regret in her eyes. But I was done wasting my breath on them. I walked out. It felt like I had grown up overnight. After I got back from the hospital, I gathered up every worthless trinket Isabella had ever given me, packed them in a box, and threw it all in a dumpster. Then I returned the engagement ring I had bought. My roommates watched me with worried expressions, wanting to offer comfort but afraid of setting me off. But I spoke in a light tone. It's okay, really. At least I got to see two people's true colors. Finding this out before getting married is a blessing. You guys should be happy for me. If I had actually married Isabella, if we'd had kids, and then I found out she was cheating on me with Alex in France while I was still completely in the dark, that would have truly destroyed me. They all wholeheartedly agreed. Let the scumbag and the slut ruin each other's lives. Just keep them off the market. Don't worry, Davis. The way they treated you, karma will come back to bite them hard. But in the dead of night, the waves of emotion that washed over me left me feeling helpless. Alex and I used to talk about everything. He was my neighbor in 7th grade. His family went through a sudden financial crisis. Without a second thought, my parents lent his family $30,000. We had to be very careful with our own spending for a while after that. Thankfully, it helped them get through the worst of it. From that day on, Alex and I were inseparable. I thought we would still be best friends when we were 80 years old. To be betrayed by the people closest to you feels like being flayed alive. As for Isabella, I had a feeling she was planning to propose to me during our graduation trip to Aspen, on a snowy peak with just the two of us there. She knew I didn't like big scenes, so she would have chosen a quiet moment, letting the mountain witness our private, romantic moment. In just a few short days, my entire world had been turned upside down. All I can say is that the human heart is a mystery. She could be so caring and attentive to me and, at the same time, be sleeping with someone else behind my back. My tears soaked my pillow. I allowed myself this one night to be sad. From now on, I would only ever trust myself. After graduation, I moved back to my hometown to be close to my parents. I found a good job, one that paid well enough that I didn't have to worry about money and could still afford to go to concerts and music festivals whenever I wanted. The Johnson family came to my parents' house to apologize after they found out what Alex had done. I accepted their apology, but that was it. The Johnsons moved away, so I didn't have to run into them anymore. The next time I heard news about Alex and Isabella, I was stunned. Apparently, our explosive fight in the hospital room had been overheard by people in the hallway. The story that Alex was a home wrecker and Isabella a cheater spread like wildfire across their campus. The once beloved campus couple became social outcasts, the butt of every joke and cautionary tale. Alex's acceptance into the graduate program in France was rescinded, and he wasn't even able to receive his final diploma. The same thing happened to Isabella. She had to leave the university in disgrace. Their downfall was as spectacular as their rise had been. I had thought that since they couldn't bear to be apart, they would be able to overcome any obstacle together. The year I got a big promotion and a raise, I heard that Alex had married a wealthy heiress who treated him like a disposable toy. Isabella, who had to raise the child she'd had with him out of wedlock, ended up in an arranged marriage set up by her family. Her new husband took all her money and disappeared less than a month after the wedding. The stress caused her parents' health to collapse, and they both fell seriously ill. The Williams family fell apart. My mom stroked my hair, her eyes red. It's karma. After what they did to you, it's their turn to suffer. Davis, don't waste your wonderful life on people who don't deserve you. You deserve every good thing in this world. I hugged her back and reassured her. Mom, I'm doing great now. I'm financially independent. I have you and Dad, and I hang out with my old roommates on the weekends. This is a happy, normal life. It's the life I've always wanted. Isabella came looking for me once. I didn't know about it at the time. My dad told me later that my mom had dragged Isabella into the hallway of our apartment building and beat her so badly, she probably broke a few of her ribs. Isabella never fought back. She just kept repeating, "I'm sorry." I was working late one night on the 22nd floor of my office building, and a torrential downpour started outside. On my break, I looked down and saw Isabella staggering in the storm. She was looking up at my building, and she stood there in the same spot for nearly 3 hours. I had the urge to run down there and ask her if the pain she was feeling now could possibly compare to the agony I felt when I ran to her, full of hope, only to find her proposing to Alex. The thought lasted only a second before I pushed it away. She wasn't worth another second of my time. As I sat in the taxi home, The driver sped up, sending a huge wave of dirty water from a puddle splashing all over Isabella. She looked like a drowned rat, the driver commented. Looks like that woman's out there in the storm, apologizing to someone. Kind of pitiful. But hey, pitiable people usually did something to deserve it. What's the point of apologizing now? The best thing she could do is just stay out of sight. I couldn't help but laugh. After the storm, the sun is bound to come out.